let's talk a little bit about orphaning. All right. Again, I talk a lot about root cause therapy. There's this, and this isn't just root cause therapy. There's quite a few trauma informed modalities out there that use this analogy. So we are born whole, right? Whole. We are a whole human being. I want you to imagine, though, if you could orphan off, if you could remove from your whole self certain parts of you, right? Confidence, the good parts, right? Um, Safety, peace, calm, okay? Sometimes what happens is we remove a part of ourselves in order to prevent us from feeling some sort of a pain. So we orphan off parts of ourselves. And we can orphan off good parts and bad parts, but it's just this concept of an orphan is alone, right? Is alone. That's kind of what happens to our parts. We can orphan them off, and then they're still there, but they're not a part of us. We orphan them off. That's what we don't want anymore. We want us to make, the ultimate goal is to make sure that we are whole, right? That I am whole. I'm not giving up my peace. I'm not abandoning my self-respect. I am not going to give away any of my self-worth. I am not going to orphan those things off because I'm afraid of conflict, because I'm afraid of being alone, because I'm afraid of rejection. I am not going to orphan off those parts of me because that's not empowering. I want to be whole. I want to live life whole, not in parts. And this concept of orphaning or removing certain parts of ourselves, that's human. That's not just betrayed partners. That's everybody. Unfaithful partners do the same thing. They orphan off all kinds of qualities within themselves in order to justify whatever it is they were doing. So we don't want to abandon ourselves anymore. We want to be whole. So this three-part formula is going to help you start feeling whole. But if you're still running fears, if you're still running with limiting beliefs, it's going to be really hard to enforce anything because you've got that unconscious belief, you know what, you're just not good enough. You know what, you're never going to find anybody better. You know what, you're almost 60 years old. What do you think you're doing divorcing at this age? You know what, you don't have an income. You can't leave. All those voices are what hold us back from being whole. So we orphan off certain parts of ourselves in order to avoid the fear or the limiting beliefs that have been holding us back. So part of today, I hope anyway, is helping you see not to beat ourselves up mentally, right? But to help us see, wow, there's been patterns in my life. And now I can kind of put these pieces together. And now I can see that I have not been living life on my terms. I have not been whole. I've orphaned off one or two or maybe 12 pieces of me in order to keep the peace, in order to avoid conflict, in order to not be alone. We want to recognize those. We want to recognize the fact that, okay, so we did it. We did it. I orphaned off parts of myself. Okay, I'm not going to do it anymore. Once I become aware of something, conscious incompetence, I need to change. I need to practice doing something new. Conscious competence. I'm going to practice and practice and practice. And eventually, I'm going to become so good at it that it's just second nature. It's just who I am. I throw boundaries out there like they're pennies in a fountain, right? Unconscious competence. That's how we move through those stages.